I opened my restaurant because cooking over an open fire was my thing. Scratch-made cobbler, totally my thing. But spreadsheets and payroll, just not my thing.
Regions helps business owners keep up the good work and simplify the other work with business checking account options and time-saving cash management tools.
More time doing my thing works for me.
For tools and services to help you keep up the good work, switch to Regions at regions.com/smallbusiness. Regions Bank, member FDIC.
Broadcasting live from the Subaru of Gwinnett studio inside the Sonesta Gwinnett Place Atlanta Hotel. It's time for Gwinnett Business Radio. Gwinnett Business Radio is presented by Regions Bank. Brave the beginning. Member FDIC.
And hello again, everybody, and welcome to a very special edition of Gwinnett Business Radio. I am Mike Salmond alongside, Stephen Julian. Stephen Julian is beside me here, and we've got a full house and a great show going on. We're going to talk about the upcoming Cat Rangers Charity Golf Tournament. Good morning, Stephen.
Morning, Mike. I'm waiting for the Cat Rangers theme song. Doesn't that sound like it should have like an 80s cartoon, superhero
it's the
theme
coolest
song?
Name.
It's an awesome name.
And the reason it's Cat
I'm
Rangers.
Incredibly jealous.
It's Cat Rangers because Cat Special Forces just didn't sound.
I like it.
Right.
You know what? That could be the first line of the song.
Yeah.
The first line of the theme song. Mike, before we get to this special edition of Business RadioX and Gwinnett Business Radio, I want to remind everybody that our show is brought to you by Regions. We all know that holy cow, can I start over? Goodness great. I'm so flustered by this great group of guests we have. All right, let me start over. Hang on. We all know that keeping your company's financial future on track means having the right resources to support your growth. Regions Commercial Banking offers you lending capabilities and strategic solutions tailored to your needs, and you'll work with a team of experienced bankers here in Gwinnett. Discover steps to take that can help move you closer to your business goals. Regions is here to help. To learn more, visit regions.com/commercial banking. Regions Bank, member FDIC.
All right, let me let you know who's around the table and why Stephen is so flustered. Sparrow Marcioni is here. She's the executive director with Cat Rangers. And again, we're talking about the Cat Rangers Charity Golf Tournament coming up on May 19th, 2021. So if you listen to this show after May 19th,
you got to come to next year's.
You're coming to the 2022 one. We're also joined by Terry Jondal. Terry is the CEO of CAB Incorporated. They're one of the sponsors and partners, and Terry's been a staunch supporter of Cat Rangers for years. Sid Theus is the CEO of American Painting and Renovations. They're also a sponsor, and I'm going to guess they're a staunch supporter, too. They are, says Sparrow. And Will Rigdon is here from the coolest place in the area, Atlanta Motorsports Park, so we'll talk to Will as well, as they are a partner and sponsor.
Not quite a staunch supporter yet. They're a heavy support. No, what would be the right word? They are a excited supporter.
I don't know. We'll have to ask.
We'll have to wait and ask Will. Oh, man, that's a tease. Good job.
We're going to ask Sparrow all about Cat Rangers, but if you're familiar with Business Radio X, you know that they've been a supporter of one of our other shows, Celebrating Powerhouse Women. And for those of you that listen to that show, you probably hear this commercial.
Cat Rangers is saving lives of cats and kittens one paw at a time. They are the special forces of cat rescue, and all of their felines recover in their lovely home-like center in Beaufort while they wait to find their forever homes. Cat Rangers is growing rapidly and is always seeking financial and volunteer support. Please contribute by visiting catrangers.org today.
I want to thank Terry. She's the one that did the meowing and the purring in the background there.
Right.
Yeah. So she did all the sound effects.
I would have been doing growling.
Yeah. Sparrow, tell us all about the organization and the fine work you do.
Well, Cat Rangers is a little different than a lot of other animal rescues. We do, of course, only rescue cats, but the majority of our rescues are from families or in distress or owner surrenders is what they're classified as for us. So that means that we're helping families and cats, And we rescue and adopt over 600 cats a year, predominantly from our little facility in Beaufort. So we have a physical location. The physical location is actually a house. So it's laid out just like your house would be. So you can come in, sit in the living room, at the parlor, or the library, and hang out with the cats. And then they can choose you. So our adoption success levels for permanent homes is very high. In fact, our actual adoption numbers are higher than almost all of the other rescues in Georgia because of based on the ratio of cats. We maintain between 120 and 150 cats at any given time. They'll be in foster homes or in our adoption center. And we used to call it Adoption and Visitor Center, but now it's just Adoption Center for the moment. But
soon it'll be a visitor center.
Yeah, soon we'll have visitors again. But out of that inventory, if you want to call it that, we do between 50 and 60 adoptions a month. Wow. So that's a lot of work. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we're very effective at what we do, and people really enjoy the process because of the house.
And we try to be very intentional about how we match kitties to the right family, because we're looking for forever fits. And the volunteers who work they take this very, very seriously, and so it's great. And if I might add on to what Sparrow said about helping families in crisis, I have been involved with Cat Rangers for several years now, and I've adopted several cats, and I got to foster a batch of kittens during COVID, which was absolutely something everybody should do once you're trained. But it is it's absolutely wonderful. But the thing that I have found astonishing is all this time I have been thinking about how important it is to save the cats. It's been even more important to save the families. We have families who come to us, maybe they had somebody who died and left their cats, or they're terminally ill, and the thing they're most worried about is what's going to happen to their cats. Or sadly, frequently, we get folks who are suddenly homeless or suddenly forced from their home to an apartment and they can't take their animals.
Or a car.
Or they're living in their car. And and these folks are crushed because of their animals. So our ability as cat rangers to help these folks, this is as much or more about humans as it is about animals. And I think that's a really important message that I've learned, and I think we want to really share.
Terry, just drop the mic and walk out. I mean, I don't know what to say after that. That was beautiful.
So this has been the special episode about
Thank you for
cat
joining
rangers.
us. Wow, that was wonderful.
I thought you were chasing me out.
No. We've locked the door. You're not going anywhere. You said, Sparrow, it's this home where you have 100 to 150 cats. I'm thinking, what's the difference between your Cat Rangers adoption center and Terry's house?
Well, I just sold mine, so there's a big difference.
Yeah, you've had quite a few.
I'm now homeless.
Yeah, you've had quite a few.
We don't keep 150 there. We keep about 50. The rest are in foster.
Okay.
Because kittens, you want your kittens and some of the higher need cats to be in family environments where they're socialized.
Yeah.
So we want to build cats who are really good for families to adopt.
But just to clarify, and I just want to clarify this because you said it in your first answer, and it's so non-standard in the industry. So the way it is designed is it is an open house where the cats are just roaming free, clearly being taken care of, clearly,
Yes.
not a crazy house of just cats running the place. The volunteers still run the place, but here are these different rooms and people can interact rather than looking at different cages. You just kind of see what cat is attracted to you, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so now I have to ask the tough question because this would be my fear. I have confidence issues. Has there ever been someone who's come to kind of find a cat and none of the cats can't find a friend? Okay.
And we
Cats
chase them out.
See? That's why I won't come. No, I'm just kidding.
They are very intuitive.
Okay.
If there's someone that comes in that doesn't
not a cat person,
they're not a cat person, they're there with somebody who is, because they're a dog person, or they really didn't want to be there, or they're afraid of cats.
Right.
There's two cats figure this out, right? Now, guess what they do when they figure out you're afraid?
They attack you?
No, they want to sit on you.
Really? So they want to help you conquer
Yeah.
that fear.
Yeah, they're like, oh, this person isn't going to hurt me. I'm going to go sit on them.
And we see a lot of conversions of people who say they're not cat people who find out that, oops, they really were cat people.
Or at least I'm this cat's person.
Yeah,
right? That's kind of what you're going
I thought
for.
you were going to ask me how do we keep them from fighting.
Well,
That's what most people ask.
You have a little hissing.
You asked yourself
here
a
and
great
there.
question.
Sure.
Answer it for yourself.
Sure, because the way the house is laid out, there are different areas. So what we have to do, it's actually, kind of scientific. You have to have an alpha in each room, and the alphas don't do well when they get into the other room. So you've got an established hierarchy in each zone, and then each cat has to have their own safe spot, which could be elevated, or it could be on floor level, or it could be in this room or that room. And there can never be an empty food bowl. That's really bad to a cat.
Or a dirty litter box, and we have a lot.
Yeah,
we
they
have an
don't like
army of
that
people
either.
who clean litter boxes.
You're getting quite the cat education today.
I like it. I'm learning a lot.
Let me mention something though, Mike, because I took Mike up on a tour of cat rangers one time, and when we talk about cats picking people, I was just totally happy with my family of rescues, and I took Mike on a tour of the cat rangers facility. And dang, if this little fluffy toasted marshmallow fella didn't walk out and wrap himself around my legs. And I just stood there and I said, oh, no. And he was the most beautiful cat who was rescued from Doha, Qatar, the country of Qatar. He's a true Persian, and not with papers, of course, but he is from Persia, and he knows it. We call him the Prince of Persia, also known as Fluffy Puffy. And he is the most beautiful cat, and you could have taken him home too, Mike, but he loved me more.
And this happened when Mike was with you?
With me.
So that explains why Mike's new nickname is Fluffy Puffy. Thank you for that, Terry. That's been driving Amanda and I crazy.
Safe to say, Terry doesn't give many tours anymore.
No.
Rangers.
No.
I want to bring in Will and Sid, but before we do that, you're one of the sponsors too.
Yes.
So tell us all about CAB Incorporated. I want to give you a little love for your business.
Well, thank you. After last year, everybody's business needs love. CAB Incorporated is an industrial products company. We're headquartered here in Beaufort, and I am the majority owner, so we're a women-owned business. We have a factory in Texas and a factory in Washington State, and we have operations in China, India, and we also sell into South Africa and Vietnam. So that kind of heavy steel items might go on automotive, rail, construction, mining, that kind of stuff. So it's not real glamorous.
Sid, you're the CEO of American Painting and Renovations. I know you've been very active with the Gwinnett Chamber. You're obviously supporting this tournament. Tell us all a bit about your painting and renovation company.
I'm Sid Theus. I'm the CEO of American Painting and Renovations. We perform multifamily and commercial renovations nationwide. We've licensed and work in over 30 states. Our main line of business is renovating apartments, but we also do shopping centers, condos, airport hangars, you name it.
Oh, wow. I did
Houses. He
Yep.
just worked on mine.
Here locally, yes, we have a big residential division, and I think we've been voted best in Gwinnett Magazine since 2005 with our residential
You
business.
think?
Yeah.
You're not.
I don't want to misspeak.
From 2005, it's happened so often that you're like, oh, okay, I guess it happened again
every
this
year.
year. I like it.
Yeah.
30 states, you said.
Over 30, yeah.
Wow, I didn't realize. I knew you were big. I didn't know you were that big. How did you get involved with this crew here in Cat Rangers?
Terry John Dahl over the last few years has
It always starts with Terry, doesn't it?
It starts with Terry, doesn't it?
She's become one of my best friends.
Aw.
We serve on a few boards together, and sometimes we've had some wars, and she's always been there on my side. We just became close over the last few years. She's a real good friend.
We have a mutual admiration society.
Yeah, I recently did some work for Terry as well on her home.
And he did fabulous. He has an awesome team.
All right, same
Thank you,
question
Terry.
for Will. Will, before we ask you how you got involved with the crew here, tell us all about Atlanta Motorsports Park and where you're located.
So Atlanta Motorsports Park, unlike the other businesses represented in here, we're actually up in Dawsonville, so we're not part of Gwinnett County. So that's why I don't know many of y'all from the board. I know everybody up at the Dawsonville Chamber of Commerce. So give them a shout out, go Dawsonville.
But you're just a hop, skip, and a jump away.
And
Yes, we are. We're just-
and we need to know about you.
Yeah, we are right up Highway 400, for those wondering, up by the outlet malls up in Dawsonville. We are a private racetrack, so not a lot of people know about us. We're kind of a country club, much like Augusta Nationals, but instead of there being a golf course, it's a big racetrack. And there's actually two of them, so if you're into go-karts or cars, motorcycles, pretty much anything on wheels, you can come drive it up at Atlanta Motorsports Park.
And you can bring your own vehicle.
Yes, so if you are a member with us and you go through that process, you can bring whatever you drive, you can come out and take it on track.
And this is probably available for anyone of any skill level. So if someone has said, well, I've never driven really fast in a car, but I want to learn, you guys have classes or things like that?
Yes, we do. We actually have a lot of instructors on site. We can pair you up at any given time. One of the interesting things about the Atlanta market for cars, a lot of people know the car scene in Atlanta. We're pretty big, pretty well known. But as far as actual track driving goes, our membership is almost fairly novice. About 70 to 75% of incoming members have never set foot on a track before. And so
they're looking for a safe place or a good place that'll kind of make them feel confident in learning their skill.
Yeah, and a lot of our members are folks that have, they've had personal success, in their 30s and 40s, and finally have got that car that they've always wanted, but they've got nowhere to drive it. And, with speed limits being 55 most places around here, you got to be able to air it out a little bit when you get that fast car.
I've never understood that with cars because speed limits usually are 70 or so, but speedometers go up to 120 or so, and cars go over 100 miles an hour. It's like, why do they even make them to go that fast when legally you can't drive them that fast?
Oh, Mike, my husband uses that same line when I see on Life 360 that his average speed was 89. Says you have to let them open up.
Well, no, the speed limit sign on the interstates around here, it's not the interstate name. That's the speed limit, 75 or 85. So.
Yeah.
Your husband was confused, apparently.
Right.
Well, new cars, they're putting so much power in them now. You'll just be cruising with the weight of your foot on the pedal, and you'll creep up to 90, 95 miles an hour. You won't even notice
and
it.
It's so smooth, and not that I do that. Sorry.
So
Now,
can I ask, Will, do you have cars there that people can drive, or do they have to bring their own vehicle?
So we've got a slew of everything. So if you've got your own car and you want to drive it, we can do that. If you don't have a car and you want to drive it, we can do that. We've got Mazda Miatas all the way up to our Radical SR1 cars, and that's the car we're going to bring with us to the golf tournament to show everybody.
Cool.
And so we have a full-fledged racing school. So if you want to just get in there, get it for the experience to drive fast, you can do that. If you want to go in and get your actual competition racing license, you can get in there and do that. Because it's much like getting a car license. If you want to go race on a national circuit, you have to sit for a course and basically get accredited by an institution that accredits race car drivers.
Now, Will, it is Atlanta Motorsports Park, and it's on your business card. It says a Motorsports Country Club. So let me ask again a slightly obvious question that shows I've never been there. Do you guys host races? So whether it's professional, semi-pro, or amateur?
So we actually host a slew of events, and what's interesting about our place in particular is we weren't built until 2012. So they broke ground in 2008. Took a little while to get built. I mean, the CEO was a madman for who builds a racetrack during a global recession. Managed to get it done. And so we opened up in 2012, and part of the regulations up in Dawsonville is we can't be a public facility. So we have public programs. Anybody can come up, drive, do the activities, but people like NASCAR or IMSA or any of the big traveling series, they can't come host races with us because we're not allowed to have grandstands. We can't have lights. We're very much, we're a facility that
boutique.
Yes, we're trying to be polite to the neighborhood is I guess the best way of putting it.
That's a great way to put it.
So we do have events. So anybody can come in and rent the track. So there's a group out of Charlotte that does Legends cars. Anybody that's been to a short track probably have seen those cars. And so they host a national race every year with us in the fall. And it's really crazy because these are a bunch of 12 to 16-year-old kids that come out and race. And they just, they host it much like a rec league football program would just go rent out a field and have their football games.
I think I think the sport of racing, a lot of anybody who has any interaction with it, they think of NASCAR, they think of Formula One, and they think of the highest. But it's almost like baseball. There's so many different independent, minor. There's all these different leagues, or there's all these different interactions, and the best one that you guys offer is, why don't you actually come drive yourself, and so then to host other events on top of that, fantastic.
And we'll be doing that soon.
Yeah,
yes.
I think we may need to make a big
You'll be
group
hearing
event.
from us.
Yeah.
The go-kart track out there, I know I didn't mention it, but if anybody's in the market for corporate events, that is probably the most fun, competitive group activity you can do. So bachelor parties, company outings, anything like that, it is 55-mile-an-hour go-karts. And
why don't we do that for my birthday?
How old do you have
wait.
to be?
We got a golf tournament that
so
day.
it's 12 and up to
Sorry,
drive the
Fluffy
go-karts.
Puffy.
Yeah. Sorry. See what you started, Terry.
I love it.
Never coming,
I have to
never coming on my show again, ever.
segue off of the Fluffy Puffy. Okay, maybe not. I got to tell you guys who can't see this show that Sid is wearing the most amazing suit. I've been trying to think of how to describe it, and I believe it's a cross between window pane plaid and houndstooth in a lovely blue stripe, dark gray stripe on a light gray background. Complemented by a Navy skull and crossbones tie. And Sid, man, you ought to be on the cover of GQ.
So he's a houndstooth pirate. Is that?
There you go.
Is that what
Houndstooth pirate,
what
like
we're
that.
saying?
Fluffy Puffy and Houndstooth pirate.
Are you a golfer, Sid?
No, I can spell golf. That's about it.
Yeah, same thing for me. Golf is a 4-letter word. I'll tell you, because I can only imagine what the golf clothes you would wear if you were a golfer. Based on what you wear every day, I mean, you are styling and profiling.
Thank y'all.
Will, you mentioned how you kind of hang out in the Dawsonville, with those peeps up there. How'd you get in touch with, how do you connect with Sparrow and Cat Rangers?
So crazy enough, we were talking about earlier in the program about converting dog people. So I met my wife in college, and right after we graduated, we both took jobs in industry. We were, basically marketing folks on sales teams and had to travel a lot. And my wife always grew up with dogs, and she wanted to get another pet. Well, combined, we were probably traveling 20 weeks a year between the two of us, and just not really conducive for having a dog at home. And so, I always grew up with cats. I always loved cats, and going off to college without pets, we wanted to get back into having a pet. So, I convinced my wife, let's try out a cat. And, she's very against, puppy mills and any of the places where, you buy from breeders. She's always about rescuing. And so we looked up local cat rescues, and that's how we found Cat Rangers right down the street from us. And so, 2 cats later, we are...
you have your own Fluffy Puffy now.
And we've also extensively modified the house, too, to accommodate the cats.
Oh, yeah. It's very cool.
What are your cats' names?
So we have Walter, and when he's not happy, he's Salty Walty.
Oh, nice.
Everything rhymes around here.
I like that.
And then we've got Raymond, who is Ray Ray whenever he is acting up. And that thing about the cat bowls is very true. We built 3 cat bowls for 2 cats, and they both like to eat out of the same one and empty it, even though they have plenty of food. They will both sit there and stare at us every morning and sing us the song of their peoples until we feed them.
Well, like Mike said, the cats adopt us.
Yes. No, you said that.
Oh, I did. Oh, well.
Yeah, you said that.
Yeah, so
Sadly,
you've been listening to the Terry John Doll Show here on Gwinnett Business Radio.
Sponsored by American Painting and Renovation.
I would like to add that my second oldest daughter Molly has 2 cats, and I think one's Belial and one's Lilith, and she loves her cats.
Oh, Belial and Lilith. I like that. So, all right.
Nice.
We could have Terry name all her cats, but we only have 30
we've
minutes.
I've got to get out of here in about 20 minutes.
The reason we're here, of course, is the cat.
should talk about golf.
The golf tournament. It's coming up May 19th, and it's going to be at Lanier Islands, the Legacy Golf Course.
Yes.
Now, how did this idea of the golf tournament come across?
Yeah, me.
Okay.
She
telling
mentioned it
Terry.
150 times, and finally about 151, I was like, I guess we can give it a try.
How has it been received?
Very well. For a first-year tournament, we've got a lot of sponsors, a lot of players.
You still looking for golfers as of today?
Yes.
Okay.
And they can go to catrangersgolf.com. And let me mention, on the golf tournament, we tried to do some special things that you don't see on a lot of tournaments. And the winning team is going to be eligible for a Hole In One Shootout. And so if anyone on that winning team hits a hole in one, then the team will share the $1 million prize. Of course, it's paid out monthly. But it's still money.
I could get over that.
Yeah. And then there's one of the hole-in-one prizes is a $10,000 cash that anybody who gets a hole-in-one on that shot will win. There's also a cruise to a French Lick resort, whatever that is. And there's a raffle. One of the raffle
These
prizes.
days, the cruises go to the last place team. You get to go on a cruise.
Isn't that the truth? Yes. Oh,
you finish in last place, you win the cruise.
But we're doing a putting contest.
And then we're also doing a putting contest where 4 people who are pulled by raffle ticket, we have 4 slots. If any of them make the putt, they get $5,000. So all those will be at the end of the day.
That's the cash.
I've been in a golf, because I'm a horrible golfer. I don't play very much. I'm so bad. I actually finished last in one of these type of tournaments years ago, and the prize was that book, Golf for Dummies.
Oh, how cute.
Yeah, that went to the last place team.
Wished I'd have thought of that.
Yeah.
So, Anyway, we're coming along real well on this, and it for our first year, we think we're doing fabulous, and we're going to continue to build on it. But we think it's going to be a fun day. I know that we have confirmed a lot of fun people showing up. So, Mike, you can talk to them and see how funny they are.
Yeah.
Well, and there's also, and we mentioned this, but Will's group from Atlanta Motorsports is bringing some of their cars. And I believe also a Corvette and Mustang club is going to be participating.
We're going to have a number of different exotic cars.
And then, of course,
So
if
is
like
this a
Mike,
car show or a golf tournament?
yes, and if you're and just as important, if not more important, if you're not the greatest golfer in the world and necessarily don't want to golf, I believe there's opportunity to come at the end, maybe for a little
reception.
A little afterglow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's when Sid's going to get Painted.
That's right.
Oh, we can sell
Come and
tickets
see
for
the
that,
Houndstooth
Sid.
Pirate. Maybe he'll sing a song. That would be great.
Oh,
We still have a
Sid.
few hole sponsors that we haven't sold.
Okay.
So
So-
those,
Well,
there's still
come
a few
on,
of
let's
those.
get going.
Yeah,
There's
I know.
opportunities for everybody.
What's
and-
the best hole that still doesn't have a sponsor? Is it 12? Is it 17?
We
Is
don't
it-
have a sponsor for the one that we're doing the $1 Million Shootout.
Oh,
on.
come on.
We have, that's the most important one, so we
Yeah.
held it for last.
Well,
Give us costs for people that you've perked their ears now. So how are we talking as far as costs?
Well, the shootout is a $1,000 sponsorship, but
Okay.
you've got your visibility. You're right there. Everything is going to be happening around that.
if you want your business next to $1 million,
Yeah.
it only costs you $1,000 to do that.
$1,000, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a
come on.
steal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the normal whole sponsors are $500,
Yeah.
and we still have several left. So
May 19th, that's a Wednesday.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
What time you're looking to tee off? What time do you want people to get there? I know you got activities throughout the day.
Yeah, I think arrival would be around 8:30 to be able to get checked in and everything, and then the
10
tee
o'clock.
off is 10.
Here's a question for the listeners who are golfers who take their game seriously. Are mulligans available, and is it unlimited or a certain number?
That's a good question.
Thank you.
because-
See, I asked the hard-hitting questions.
Mulligans are available,
Yes.
and I will be honest. My husband, who is our resident golf person, says that we should set a limit, and we honestly haven't decided how to do that.
Well, I'm not here to stir the pot or anything.
I mean,
but,
being that it's a charity tournament, you should probably charge for them.
well,
Oh, yeah, we
no,
are.
you
Oh,
definitely
yeah,
charge.
yeah.
You definitely charge. But if there are certain prizes for certain places, you probably should have a standard,
Yeah.
up to. But make it enough where it's worth your while as
Yeah.
well as worth their while.
Yeah, no,
So-
that's a good point. 'cause
Thank
go-
you.
And we are also
I
giving
made my
away
one
a big
good point.
green
I can
egg,
leave.
Which,
Big green egg.
yeah, the Islands course told us that that's like the most popular giveaway in golf tournaments.
And you
So-
guys talked about the sponsorships. The one thing that hasn't been mentioned, if you want to play as an individual or a foursome, what are the costs? Because there are still a few spots available.
Yeah. Players.
175.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you go to that same site, catrangersgolf.com. You can register as a golfer. You can register as a team. You can register as a sponsor and upload your logo right there and do a little write-up about your business. And and it all automatically appears on our site.
So it's catrangersgolf.com because Cat Special Forces Golf just doesn't sound right.
Well, May 19th again at the Lake Lanier Islands, or just Lanier Islands now. They changed the name to the Legacy Golf Course. Beautiful course.
Yeah.
And we've been to tournaments up there before. It's a great course to play. Is there any information that we're forgetting about?
Yeah, I got something, Mike. You forgot the most important thing. You kind of mentioned it, but you didn't really focus on it. Business Radio X will be broadcasting live from the tournament.
Oh, we forgot to mention, and Business Radio X is an important sponsor and partner for us.
Fluffy
Bad
Puffy will
on
be there.
us.
Fluffy Puffy will interview you live on the air.
Yeah, we'll do some.
On his boof day.
We'll be streaming live and doing interviews with sponsors and golfers. Hopefully before they have a few drinks in them.
Or after. That could be even more fun.
Some of them will be really funny afterwards. And that's why if Sid shows up at the end of the day, we will see what we can do to get him to sing.
I know what you have to do. Is it 2 bourbons, 3 bourbons, or
Usually a lot
gin
of
and tonic?
tequila.
Tequila. All right. I'm sure that can be arranged.
Half a bottle or a bottle usually does it.
So obviously for a great cause, for Cat Rangers. Anything else, Sparrow?
No, we've covered most of it. I mean, we do have some other sponsors, but they're not as important as these guys. So There you go.
Oh, we appreciate it.
They're important, but we couldn't fill up this room.
Look at Terry trying
Yeah,
to
we
cover
get a
for
lot
Sparrow.
of them. We get a lot of them.
Good save, Terry. No, they're important, but
Yeah.
just and these were what was the word you used? I've already forgotten at the beginning. That excite. No, what was the word about the type of sponsors they are?
Presenting.
No. Sorry, we'll edit
Partners?
that
Are
out.
you-
Yeah, well, you said they were an excited, and I dogged Will that he wasn't at that level yet.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
And
and
there
I
was an
forgot
important
what-
word,
It was
and I
important.
forgot what
We've
it
all
was.
forgot.
too.
It was so important. We've all
was
forgotten it,
perfect.
and now I've brought the show to a screeching halt.
Yeah, so thank you, Sid. Thank you for your support of Cat Rangers, obviously, and the great work you do in the community with American Painting and Renovations. Great to see you, and I guess we'll be seeing you on May 19th.
Good to see you as well. I have a board meeting that day, so I will be getting in there late probably.
You do sit on a lot of boards, don't you?
Yes, he
Couple.
does.
Just a few. Will Rigdon with the Atlanta Motorsports Park. We can't wait to have our Business Radio X day out there. Looking forward to seeing it. But for give us the website for those that would like to find out more.
It's just www.atlantamotorsportspark.com.
Great. I was checking it out earlier today. You get to see the race cars and the go-karts. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Sid, for those that want to check you out for some painting or renovations, your website is?
www.ameripaint.com.
Okay.
And that's
There you go.
AMERA paint.com.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Stephen.
America.
Amera.
AMERA.
So here's my anal side.
You got lazy, decided not to put it in the can.
No, America.
American.
No, America is AMERICA, and the AMERA paint, which makes a lot of sense.
Amera paint.
If you're
Yes.
just doing Amera, that's the way you want to do it.
We did it so long ago, it wasn't really a big thing back then.
Yes.
And we didn't know 30 years later.
That website would be a thing.
I didn't pick it out.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's
It's okay.
awesome.
We know how to find you.
Yeah. Well, American Painting and Renovations, you Google that, we'll pop
So are
up.
you saying when you set up this website that you
Yep.
were getting your email on AOL?
I don't remember.
From a
It was
256
long- yes, it was a
KB.
long time
Yeah,
ago.
yeah.
Well, I can tell you he had one of the first flip phones back then.
Yeah.
And he's got one of the new ones now, and it's pretty awesome.
After that whole thing with the website and the spelling, I could tell you your mom was an English teacher.
Math, but she took English seriously.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I thought she was an English teacher.
I'm glad.
She was at one point.
I'm glad Stephen noticed that because a lot of people do try to put an I in there.
Come on now. It's A. Get it
Yep.
right.
Yep.
Terry, for those that would like to order some products from you, I'm sure there's lots of people out there in the general public just need to get some.
I need a giant steel beam. What do I do?
Go to catrangers.org.
You're all here for Cat Rangers.
But our company is cabinc.com on the web, and if you need some automotive parts for your Chevy Colorado or your Ford products, or we do all kinds of, or windmills, or there's all kinds of stuff, but you're probably not going to need them.
Just don't ask Terry to give you a tour of Cat Rangers.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, you end up with a cat.
It'll cost
And a
you.
She
nickname.
does.
Yeah. Can we mention a couple of other sponsors?
Of course,
If
it
they're
is.
not here,
Yeah.
they tried.
It's your show.
They tried. They
No,
just
they,
couldn't be
they
here.
deserve some recognition.
Yeah. American Hole in One is one of our sponsors, and as is Southeastern Underdeck, which is a company that builds out people's underneath of their decks. Makes sense, huh?
Who does the overdeck?
I don't know.
Okay.
And let's mention the other gold sponsor is Kim Waters Real Estate with
Yeah.
Norton. And those
And,
are some of our bigger ones.
You better not forget anybody now that you've gone
Ameri-
down this row.
This is a problem. 'cause
No, they need to go to catrangersgolf.com.
Yeah, they'll see
That's
all the
where they'll see
sponsors at the
all
golf
the
tournament.
sponsors.
That is true.
See how I saved you on that one?
Yeah.
That was good.
that
So-
was very nice.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, keep up the great work, obviously. I mean, unfortunately, this is a problem. The cat overpopulation problem is not something that's going to go away anytime soon.
no.
So I think you agree with me. Everybody, spay and neuter your
Yes,
animals,
absolutely.
your dogs,
Oh,
and your
please.
cats.
Yes. Yes.
Absolutely.
Please do that. But the Cat Rangers, we're giving the golf site is catrangersgolf.com. The regular everyday site is
Catrangers.org.
.org. Oh, okay.
It's also catrangers.com. So any of
You
those.
can get there that way
there.
too, but
Yeah.
it's
C,
sort of have it built
cat
in
is
our brain.
CAT.
Yeah, we spelled it
I learned
correctly.
that in
yes.
elementary school.
Well done. I thought you learned it at UGA.
All right. Our thanks to Sparrow Marcioni with Cat Rangers, Will Rigdon with Atlanta Motorsports Park, Sid Theus with American Painting and Renovations, and Terry Jondal, our friend with CAB Incorporated. May 19th, 2021. If you listen to the show on iTunes or iHeartRadio or Spotify or any of the dozens of podcast platforms that we're on, and it's after May 19th, then please
go to that same golf website for next year.
It's 2022. We'll have it again. Lanier Islands Legacy Golf Course. It's going to be a lot of fun. So thank you to our guests. Thank you to our listeners. Thank you, Amanda, for producing. Amanda wearing her cat ears. And don't forget to follow us all over social media. We're at Gwinnett Radio X, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter. We'll be promoting the golf tournament as well. And we'll be out there all day. We'll be doing social media from there as well. So until then, thank you to our guests. We'll see you next time here on Gwinnett Business Radio.